Replay my shit. Go bananas, jumping crazy, going ape shit, rocking babe shit. Ain't no capping when I'm rapping. Ain't fugazi, ain't no fake. I'm real as real, you feel what I'm saying? On the station, no Sony playing, man. The car be shaking, and the ice is clanking. Big ol' backwood, got my eyes so Asian. I get high, fly a plane, blow drogue. I been smoke, who want smoke? Got the smoke, please don't choke. Gotta go. Whoa, biggity bow, whoa. Got designer bag, got the stilo bag, got a grime shirt with a vice hat. I'm in vice land, money never talk, money marching band, money Nick can. Cop some witherspoons, Dr. Wind moves, couple brand new bands. Shout out Juvie Joe, got a green thumb, counting up the blue in a private pool at the fountain blue. Got designer bag, got the stilo bag, got a grime shirt with a vice hat. I'm in vice land, money never talk, money marching band, money Nick can. Cop some witherspoons, Dr. Wind moves, couple brand new bands. Shout out Juvie Joe, got a green thumb, counting up the blue in a private pool at the fountain blue. Building it up, filling this cup. Don't ask why, don't ask where, don't ask what. Know what's up, what the what's up when I pull up. Don't ask why, don't ask where, don't ask what. I had to wait for this, I had to pray for this, had to have faith in this. I had to make the shit, you couldn't replace my shit. Replay my shit, play my shit, play my shit, play my shit, replay my shit. Go bananas, jumping crazy, going ape shit, rocking babe shit. Ain't no capping when I'm rapping, ain't fugazi, ain't no fake. I'm real as real, you feel what I'm saying? On the station, no Sony playing, man. The car be shaking, and the ice is clanking. Big ol' backwood, got my eyes so Asian. I get high, fly a plane, blow drogue. I been smoke, who want smoke? Got the smoke, please don't choke. Gotta go. Whoa, biggity bow, whoa. Got designer bag, got the stilo bag, got a grime shirt with a vice hat. I'm in vice land, money never talk, money marching band, money Nick can. Cop some witherspoons, Dr. Wind moves, couple brand new bands. Shout out Juvie Joe, got a green thumb, counting up the blue in a private pool at the fountain blue. Got designer bag, got the stilo bag, got a grime shirt with a vice hat. I'm in vice land, money never talk, money marching band, money Nick can. Cop some witherspoons, Dr. Wind moves, couple brand new bands. Shout out Juvie Joe, got a green thumb, counting up the blue in a private pool at the fountain blue. Building it up, filling this cup. Don't ask why, don't ask where, don't ask what. Know what's up, what the what's up when I pull up. Don't ask why, don't ask where, don't ask what. I had to wait for this, I had to pray for this, had to have faith in this. I had to make the shit, you couldn't replace my shit. Replay my shit, play my shit, play my shit, play my shit, replay my shit. Go bananas, jumping crazy, going ape shit, rocking babe shit. Ain't no capping when I'm rapping, ain't fugazi, ain't no fake. I'm real as real, you feel what I'm saying? On the station, no Sony playing, man. The car.
What's going on, team? What's going on, team? Welcome to this weekend's weekly market breakdown. Let me make sure everything is working. Perfect. I hear myself. Can I see the chat? Mr. Olam, want to know your view on USDCAD for this week? Got you. Let me turn that on for you here. Take out something here that shouldn't be here. Can't see the chat. You said NZDCAD. Perfect. Alright, I'm gonna go in order. For everybody who's new here, welcome. This session again, weekly market breakdown. We go over all the pairs that we look at throughout the trading week, right? So the ones that are on with the red folder, only one I don't look at is NZDCAD, but I turned it on because we have somebody in the chat who wants to look at it. So starting from AU, finishing off with USOIL, we're going to be looking at AU, EA, ECAD, EU, GA, GCAD, GJ, GU, US30, USD CAD, USD ZAR, gold, Bitcoin, and oil. So once again, we're gonna go over the daily time frame, where we're at in the overall market makers pattern, go to the 4 hour, update our 4 hour high, 4 hour low, look at the continuations that we have in the market structure, 30-minute time frame, look for our 30-minute highs, 30-minute lows. Are we counter trending? Are we with the trend, against the trend? Are we in a pullback? Are we in a zone of consolidation? Are we in that continuation trend to give us the push that we're looking for? That's what we're going to be looking for in the 30-minute time frame. So if you guys have any questions, any pairs you guys want me to go over, whether or not they're on our list, let me know. We are going to go in order from the top to the bottom. So again, just let me know and we will do what we gotta do. We'll give everybody another minute here to join. Just posted the link in the Discord too. Session should take about 45 minutes to an hour. Shouldn't be nothing too crazy. We're gonna go over the trades that we took in the week as well. There's only 2 trades. EUROCAD and US30, I believe, were the 2 trades. So we'll go over those pairs as well and go over those trades, go over the reasons why we took them. Try to give you guys as much information as possible. I'm still a little sick as well, so I'm sorry if you hear me still grasping for air pretty much. I think it's just crazy allergies that I'm getting for some reason. Usually happens like when the weather starts changing. So I'm not surprised, but I gotta, it's been a minute that I haven't felt like that. Like I don't feel bad, it's just I'm sneezing and I just have a lot of mucus. So the last like 3 days I've been, I had to cut out some things from my diet, stop eating cheese, dairy products, stuff that, create mucus in your body. So hopefully here in the next few days I'll be okay. I'll be back to normal. Just gonna give everybody one more minute and then we'll start. Alright, so let's get started with AU. So in the daily time frame, we know that for AU we're in A2. We're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the bottom, right? So we know that also we're at the top of the zone consolidation, where we've reached the top of the zone consolidation. In the daily structure, we know we had 2 months of counter rise. Price went to the top side and then gave us a pullback. So internally, remember, we still have all month for price to continue the push to the top side, right? We're still pretty much 2.5 weeks left for the month. With that being said, for AU, yes, even though we're in an overall downtrend pattern, market structure is still giving us higher highs and higher lows, right? In the 4-hour time frame, we're still trading between higher high, higher low, and higher high. Waiting to see, is price just gonna continue to give lower lows and lower highs to break below the lows, or is price gonna just give us a higher low, right? And then in the internal time frame, which we could see we're still in a higher low. In the internal time frame, this is where we want to start looking for price to either continue lower lows and lower highs the entire time, or if it's going to start shifting and giving us higher highs and higher lows the way we can see now, right? So we want to start looking for price to go in our direction. So for AU, right now in the daily time frame, okay, cool, yes, again, we know we're in a downtrend, but price is still giving us higher highs and higher lows. We know in the daily time frame, the market structure, when we just zoom out a little bit, we know that the market structure in the daily time frame, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Let's change this to the gray color so we're not confused, and the lower high, right? We never had price break below or above our previous lower lows and lower highs. So everything that's happening inside of these highs and these lows, we just got to go into the lower time frame. So instead of zooming in and looking at this in the daily time frame and looking at the candles, we just go to the 4 hour, right? And in the full hour, this is where we know that we're trading between what we see when we zoom in the daily time frame, right? We know we're trading higher low, higher high, higher low, right? We change this to blue, and then we'll go to the daily time frame so you guys could see how it's all mapping out. So instead of being on the daily time frame and zooming in, again, we just go to the full hour. So you guys see how it starts mapping out. We're like, okay, cool. We're still in a higher high on AU in the daily time frame. In the 4 hour time frame, we know we're in a higher low in the internal structure. Right? So for us to go into the 30-minute time frame and continue to look for shorts, we need to just see price continue what we've been seeing for the last couple of days. But we need to see a pullback. Right? The first couple of days here were beautiful trades going short. Right? Especially Thursday and Friday of last week. Right? The continuation afterwards, not so strong, because we know we were reaching that higher low point, and we also understand we want to see a pullback, right? Either price to give us a pullback or for it to consolidate the way we're looking at it now. So in the 30-minute time frame, this is a point where what I don't like is that we have a lot of inducements, a lot of fake out candles since we had a lot of news this week, right? We had this news on Thursday at 8 a.m. that gave us this crazy just wick to the bottom for price to continue. So in this zone of consolidation, what I'd want to do is, again, what I showed you guys throughout the entire week pretty much, and even last week's class, is I'm going to take the wicks off, right, by just using the line chart and just looking at structure, right? We continued to see lower lows, lower highs, lower low. Price never broke these lows, right? And we didn't get, price didn't break these highs pretty much until this here. Right, where now if we turn on just the regular candlesticks, we get confused because we start seeing these wicks and people start saying, well, if this is lower low, lower high, lower low, it has to be higher high. But you can't say that because the body never closed above the, it was just wicks, it was just inducements, it was fake outs. This was all part of the same trend, right? Same thing here. I can't say that this is lower low, lower high, lower low, because the body of this push never really closed below these candles. And again, it was just one wick, the inducement of the lows, to then continue the trend to the top side, right? So then this is where on the candlestick I'll be like, okay, we know we're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low, right? I'll just use the wick now from the highest point in this trend, which is here. I'm gonna avoid these candles. I'm not looking at these wicks, right? We can see, okay, cool, we never had the break here, so we know that right now we are trading now between this change of character, which is now, again, I'm going to ignore this wick and this candle. I'm just going to be looking at here. So we're trading between the same 30-minute low down here, and the 30-minute highs are the highest points over here, which we're just going to mark up this zone here. Now, why is this important? For AU to tell us that price is going to continue this 4-hour higher high and higher low, what do we need to see now after the change of character? We need to see that break of structure, right? So now we know there's two things price is going to do. It's either going to give us this pullback to give us the break to continue, and this is the confirmation that price is going to continue the push to the top side on AU, or price is going to reject these highs, continue to go short, right? And this is where we know in the higher time frame, right, in the daily time frame, this is how we know price is going to continue, is if we get these internal movements to happen in the 30-minute. I hope that's making sense. So I don't like to have too much drawn up on my screen, so let me go ahead and take a step back here, and we'll draw up a fresh 30-minute. we'll drop a fresh 30-minute structure. So low, lower, high, right? Lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, right? And then price gave us this higher high change of character here. Change this to yellow so we could continue to follow the structure. You guys could see how price continue lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high. These are just fake candles. We're not going to mark them up, right? Price just continued the trend, right? Back into the lower low, right? And then again, price never broke these highs. Same thing with the wicks down here is the same thing with the wicks up here, right? This is just an inducement. We're not going to say this is lower low, right? Where did price shift? Where did price start giving us higher highs and higher lows? Was here, right? So now AU is what I'm expecting is, again, I'm looking for overall downtrends. So I'm not really too worried about these uptrends. But why am I interested in these uptrends? Right, before we do that, let's add this real quick. Right, why am I interested in these uptrends? Because they let us know if price is either going to continue the uptrend push, or if this is where the inducement of the lows is going to happen for price to continue going short, or the inducement of the highs in the 30-minute. Right, because again, I'm either looking for price to give us a pullback, right, a break of structure, retest to then continue, or this is where we'll be looking for price to start rejecting these highs to continue going short, right? And we understand that, okay, cool, at this point this is going to be our first targeted break of structure zone. If price comes down here and respects these lows, this is where we'll see price go back up. Or if price breaks these lows, we know that price is going to reach these lows, right? And again, this is where price is going to have to break below, right? Price is either going to reject and continue, or price is going to break to continue going short. AUDUSD has to go up to 0.678. So let's put a 678. So up to these points. I could see that, right? 100%. Right? And there's a few reasons why. We know we have the 800 EMA here. Right, we have 2 days of rise. Looking into a third day of 372 could definitely happen when the market opens, right? And then everything else in the higher time frame, right? Could this just be a little bit more of a pullback in the internal time frame or in the external time frame to give us a lower high to go short? It could happen. Price is pretty much gonna let us know here at these highs, just to keep it simple. Right, the confirmation that price will reach to this point, which is one of the projected zones when we're looking for this going long, this is definitely a target that we're looking for. However, that confirmation that price is going to give us that push is going to be after it gives us that break of structure. Right, before that, price could always reject the highs and continue that push to the bottom. So for AU, we'll continue to monitor. We'll open this tomorrow. Again, I'm gonna keep the markings up just so for tomorrow, the start of the market open, so we could then kind of talk about what price did, similar to what we did last week. EA, right? So this is why I like keeping these markings, especially for these streams, because we could go back to what we were talking about and understand why something worked and why something didn't work, right? So I'm gonna speed it up a little bit too, because if I take 20 minutes for each pair, I'm gonna be here forever. So again, if you guys have any questions, anything that doesn't make sense that you want me to explain again, let me know. If not, we'll go through these. I'll take my time with them so you guys could have good information and stuff. But I also don't want to be here all morning. I know it's late too for some people. It's already 6-7 p.m. So Euro AUD daily time frame, we're in V2. We're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the top side, right? We know that we are at the bottom of the zone consolidation. This is our safety trade, but we know that price could continue going lower instead of just rejecting how we done here multiple times, right? We rejected the lows, rejected the highs. We know that price could go lower into these lows down here, these daily lows and 4-hour lows. And again, everything is color coordinated. right? The daily low and highs are gray, the 4-hour is the blue box, and the 30-minute is the red. So we know that we're still trading between this daily higher high and this daily higher low, and the 4-hour higher high and the 4-hour lower low. So technically speaking, price, the same way price reached the daily highs and the 4-hour highs up here, is the same way that price could reach the daily lows and the 4-hour lows down here. So this is where we start looking at market structure. Well, okay, if price is going to turn around and start giving us higher highs and higher lows, what do we need to see? We need to see price turn around and start giving us higher highs and higher lows. Do we have that yet here where price is at now? No. We can still see lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? Lower highs. Price still hasn't even broken above these little zones here. So for Euro AUD, we could see that price is going to want to continue going short. We also know we have 2 months of drop. This month being the 3rd month, price is still continuing that that trend. Looks very probable, right? So go into the 4-hour. Again, we know that in the 4-hour, when we zoom it out and we understand structure, we're still trading between these highs and these lows. But the internal moves, we could see the same thing, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. Could this be just a lower high to continue into a lower low? Absolutely. And again, how do we understand that? How do we know that? Go back into the internal time frame, right? For us to understand, is this going to be where price is going to just continue going to the top side, or is this just a lower high? Well, for us to see price continuing that trend, what do we want to see? We either want to see price give us the break of structure pullback to continue, or we'll be looking for pullback areas, right? And when we're looking at pullback areas in the 30-minute time frame, you could use the fibs for a little bit more extra confirmations. But for example, right, you have those traders who are just trading simple break of structure retest, right? So let's say you're looking for a trade going long. Let's change this to green. Well, no, because then I don't want to confuse it. Well, no, it's okay. To keep it in short term, you have a bunch of traders who are looking to take trades here going long. So from the beginning of the week Tuesday, well, middle of the week Wednesday, till pretty much Thursday, Friday, how many contracts do you think the market collected here from people going long? Right? You had the internal traders, right, who saw these candles as exhaustion candles, who probably got into a trade somewhere in these areas here, right? You have the external, right, when you're looking at the internal, sorry, 5-15 minute, you have those traders who were looking at this as a break of structure retest, right, and price was respecting these zones. How many traders you think got into buys here? So then same thing, the ones who were looking for a steeper pullback, who were looking for a 50% retracement pullback, right? How many traders you think got into buys here, right? So what did price do? Very simple. It just continued going short. And again, we're talking about the reasons why, to go back into the conversation that we had Friday morning and Thursday night in the other classes, which was, how do you know when to enter and when to stay away from the trades, right? It's very simple. Did we ever get a shift in trend? Did we ever get a change of character? Never did, right? Internally, again, for price to turn around completely, what do we need to see? We need to see a change of character, break of structure, to then continue. Did we ever get that? No, right? Regardless of that, this change of character is not a valid change. We never had a clean break of structure. All of these candles we're testing, we're in a zone of consolidation in the internal time frame. Price broke below, right? Because again, I'm not looking at these wicks, since these were just pretty much news candle wicks, right? And what did price do? Gave us the break, retest, to continue going short, right? So price never gave confirmation to your going long. Very similar, this is going to be a very similar outlook to what happened on GJ, with some traders on GJ taking those buys, right? Market structure is going to tell you what price is going to do. You just have to know what to look for and how to look for it, right? So let me go ahead and delete some of these drawings so we could then take a step back here and mark this up. So you said EA is dropping to 1.61 tough pair. Yeah, I wouldn't say really it's a tough pair. It's just when we as traders, when we anticipate a move, right? Like in this case we're anticipating buys, right? When we start just trying to focusing on, we only want to see price buy instead of focusing on the facts that price is still just, what's on the screen. Like we know price is still downtrending, right? We kind of have to shift our focus now and like, okay, where is price gonna go? Why does price need to go into that zone? And you start giving yourself the reasonings as to why price is moving a certain way. It kind of eliminates that aspect of trading being tough, and that goes with any pair. But it would be different if this pair was just consolidating. That would be a completely different conversation. But it's not. Like EA is trending down the entire time. So it's still giving us clean structure. Now we just have to do our part. For example, my style of trading, since I don't trade counter trends, the only way I'll be looking for those buys back on EA is when price starts giving me that change of character break of structure in every single time frame. It's the only way I'll start looking for entries again. Or if we have a 372. Right? But I have to wait for those entries. I have to wait for those opportunities. Let me add a few lines here too. I thought I had enough. Give me 1 second. Right, so then we had a week of rise last week. Perfect. No continuations. Once again, we can still see price giving us lower lows and lower highs. So we still want to wait for this one to give us those change of characters, break of structures, and give us those entry points before we could even consider taking a trade. Right, so go on to the next one. We EURCAD daily time frame. This is one that we took a trade on this week, and we'll break that one down. So EURCAD, we know we're in V1, we're in the first zone consolidation, right? And we're looking for price to give us a break of structure of these highs. However, we know that not only do we have a 30-minute gap at the bottom of the structure, which we could see in a lower time frame is just a pullback of a higher low to continue to make higher highs, but also in that internal time frame, price put itself in a zone of consolidation. So this is where the question is asked, where are we going to get a pullback first to cover the gap to then continue the uptrend push, or is price going to give us the break of structure first, right, to then give us a pull back into this 30-minute low, 4-hour low down here, to then continue the push to the top side, right? So this is the move that I'm pretty much waiting for, either for this to happen or for this to happen, right? But for us to see what's gonna happen first in the internal time frame, we have to see price break above the zone of consolidation or below the zone of consolidation, right? If price doesn't break below, it's gonna go back to the high. If it doesn't break the highs, it's gonna go back down to the low, right? If it goes back up to the highs and doesn't break the highs, what is price gonna do? Go back down to the low, right? If price doesn't break the low, what is it gonna do? Back to the highs, go back down, back to the highs, go back down, reject the lows again, right? When it rejects the lows again in the 4-hour time frame, when you're looking for entries, what are you looking for? It's very simple. Right now we're looking for the shift, right? The change of character. Lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character, higher high, price consolidated, right? Gave us the break of structure, higher high. What are we looking for? Fib retracement to the 50%, right? The higher high, higher low. You had a trend reset, rise no net, right? You had a 4th day of rise and price just continued. On the 4th day, price went down, gave us the retest of the 50% and continued the trend to the top side. And what happened in the lower time frames? You could break this down into lower time frames too to get a cleaner entry and a cleaner reason to take the trade. Right? You had the news candle, right, which was the exhaustion candle. So all of this is part of the same trend. Higher high, higher low. Right? Higher high. Again, I'm not counting this wick. all of this structure, what I'm looking for is a retest. The retest that I'm looking for is in this area. So what does this tell me? Price came down, gave us a retest. Right, as soon as I saw this red candle print where it didn't close below the wick and then we had an engulfing candle, that's the entry. Then continue, and then yeah, market opened, gave us a little crazy wick back down into the zone to collect more contracts, right? And then we just went straight into profit. That was the trade. Stop loss below the zone, gave it a little bit more room to breathe when I took the entry, right, to continue. 12 pips stop for 46 pip, which was STP was a little bit higher, but I was looking at the structure again. As soon as price just got up to these highs, that's when I took my trade. Gave us a little pullback and then just continued. So EURCAD was a beautiful trade, right? There was nothing more, nothing less. This was exactly what we have on our trading journal. Right? When we execute our trades, we look at what is price doing and why is it doing it. Could we take a trade, yes or no? If yes, boom, take the trade. Is price following our rules? Take the trade. Right? This was beautiful. Gave us a change of character. It gave us a break of structure. The break of structure happened right above the 800 EMA too. We had the 800 EMA break of structure. We had the retest. Like, we already knew this was good. Taking any trades here is a little bit risky. We had the 800 EMA. We don't have a break of structure yet. Price could always turn back around. If you miss this trade, cool, it's all good. Take the trade that you're 100% certain that price is going to go your way. And that's exactly what we did here. So at this point too, so I'm going to take away the fib here because I'm not going to use it no more. We're going to keep this here. So we know that we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Right? We had this break. Right? And then at this point, I'm going to use, I think this wick is lower. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Perfect. So we're going to use that low. That's a 30-minute low. Higher high, higher low. And we don't have a pullback yet. Significant pullback. And we know we're trading between this. Higher high over here. And we had a day of rise. Price gave us another day of rise. Could we be expecting a 372? Could we expect price to continue this push to the top side? Honestly, we could. EURCAD would be very interesting to look at. This could be a good one, 372. So let's take a step back real quick. I want to go back. Hold on. I want to create a watch list real quick. But I don't want to add AU. I don't want to add EA. ECAD could be the good one. Once again, this is price consolidating, going back, rejecting the lows, going back up to the highs. Okay, cool. So then the fib we could use for this one too is gonna be the 61.8 to 78.6, and the reason why is this crazy wick that we have here. We might want to see price kind of cover these wicks the same way we covered this wick here. Reason number two, we could give price a chance to bounce off the 200 EMA, which is where we want price to bounce off on, right? On EURCAD in level 2, we want to see price bounce off the 200 EMA. And then the pullback, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. Right? We're looking for price to give us a higher low. So again, this higher low doesn't count. This is the wick that we're looking for price to cover. So we're really looking for price to give us a higher low in these areas, right? Which would make sense. And we're looking for a pullback to happen in these areas anyway too. Right? So this is going to be an interesting pair to keep an eye on, EURCAD. Looking for that 372 going long. perfect. Rise no net reset the trend. After a rise no net, you had another day of rise. Right, you had 2 days of rise and perfect. Looking for 372. EURCAD is gonna be interesting for Sunday. I wanna create a watch list. I'm going to, where am I gonna type it in? Let me see. I need to type it in somewhere where I could see. Watch list for 10/14/2024. EURCAD looking for 372. Bullish 372. Okay. EURUSD daily time frame. We know that we are in V1. We're in the first zone of consolidation, looking for that second push to the top side, right? Looking for that break of structure above the zone. We know that this is a pair that we're still rejecting highs and rejecting lows. We haven't reached our daily high yet, right? We haven't really reached our daily lows either, but price internally has given us those pushes to the top side. So we know that we had 3 months of rise. On the third month, which was last month, price gave us a rise no net, right? So could we have been expecting, or could we still expect price to give us another push to the top side, to give us that 4th month variation to continue the push to the top side? We could see that in the 4-hour time frame or the lower time frames, right? In the 4-hour, we know that we're trading between higher high, higher low, and higher high, right? Price never broke these highs, gave us just testing candles, so we are not saying that this is higher high, higher low, higher high. We know that we're really trading between this, again, higher high and higher low, and this is just a pullback. But in order for us to confirm that this is just a pullback, what do we need to see? We need to start seeing price give us higher highs and higher lows, right? And off the bat, we already have 2 weeks of rise, or 2 weeks of counter drop, sorry. So this upcoming week, could we expect price to continue the trend down to the bottom? Absolutely, right? And again, we're gonna get that confirmation, and that confirmation is now gonna happen in the 30-minute time frame. How do we know whether or not price is gonna continue going short or if it's gonna go high? 30-minute time frame is gonna let us know. We know that we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low. If price gives us a lower high somewhere, lower high could happen here, right? A lower high could happen here, lower high could happen here, lower high could happen here, a lower high could happen here, right? As long as price doesn't give us a break of structure, price is still going short. The lower high could happen anywhere in this area, and for price to just continue going short, right? Or we're going to be looking for price to, again, just break, retest to continue that push back up to the top side, which would be ideal, right? But we got to wait for those confirmations, right? And we could break it down into the lower time frames too. I don't want to confuse nobody because I know it's a lot of information, so I just want you guys to just focus on market structure. But we could break this down just a little bit more, right? Just here in the 30-minute time frame, internal structure, right? We understand, let's say market opens, right? We understand that we're looking for price to either break these highs or break these lows. Price breaks these lows, we'll look for something like this to happen, where we continue down to this bottom. If we break these highs, then again, we understand that we're going to continue to see price give us that lower high, continue that push to the top side, right? Especially if we break these highs. If we break these highs, the next point of interest for price to stop and go short again is going to be here. Then if we break this, the next point of interest is here, right? So it's really just about mapping it out. And then the same thing going short, you're either looking for price to break these lows or you're looking for price to break these lows, and you see how it's always kind of the same amount of pips, right? From here to here, 22 pips. From here to here, 22 pips. From here to here, 27 pips. From here to here, 20 pips, right? So this is the blueprint that you have to look at when it comes to market structure. And again, I know it's a lot of information to intake, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this type of explanation, but in order for us to have valid buys on EU, which we still don't have, we need to wait for those confirmations, right? Right now, daily time frame, yes, we're still up, we're still uptrending, but the 4-hour time frame is down, right? We still see lower lows and lower highs. The 30-minute time frame, we're still down. Lower lows and lower highs and lower lows. I'm only going to be looking for buys once I start seeing higher highs and higher lows, and we do not have that yet. So EU will wait for that. Nothing there for me. I have to make sure I updated this. I don't even think I... So yeah, 2 weeks of drop. And the 30 minutes, let's update this 30-minute real quick. We had a day of no net where prices just moving sideways. Again, I'm gonna keep these markings here just for tomorrow morning when we wake up and we look at the market again and we do the live trading session. You know, we could talk about what price has done and what we could be expecting, and then I'll delete it after that tomorrow morning, just so I don't have too much stuff on my screen. I can't trade like that. GA V2, we're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the top side. Once again, price rejected these highs the same way we did the first time, rejected the lows, rejected the highs, and we could start seeing how price is making lower lows and lower highs. No continuations in the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame. We're still seeing the same thing, right? Lower lows and lower high. We have lower low, lower high, lower low. Price gave us a lower high, and then price started giving us lower lows and lower highs again. So we had 2 weeks of drop. This week being the third week, price did not give us that third week push. Ended up giving us a week of rise, which is all good, right? And in the 30-minute, we know that price gave us a lower low, higher high change of character. Did not give us a break of structure, higher high. So we knew that price was not ready to continue the push to the top side. So we still gotta wait. In order for us to look for a trade on GA, we need to start seeing higher highs and higher lows, and we can still see how price is giving us lower lows and lower highs the entire time. So nothing there yet. Oil SUD, please. I am gonna be looking at US oil. That's the last pair on my list. Yeah, oil US. That's the last pair on my list. So I'll be going over that one. GBPCAD, we are in the second push, right? We were in V1 for zone consolidation, looking for that push to the top side. We got the break of structure. Level 2, we're looking for price to continue the uptrend push, right? GCAD is in a situation where I am looking for price now to give me a steeper pullback before we could continue the push to the top side. However, again, I'm just following market structure at the end of the day. We could still see price higher high, higher low, higher high. Price went down, right? Gave us just a simple higher low. And then this is where price after the higher low, what are we looking for? We're looking for a change of character. We're looking for a break of structure. Now, structure on GCAD was very extended, right? So this is where we had the change of character, right? We had the change of character. So we had lower high, lower low, higher high change of character, higher low, and we had the higher high break of structure. Now here, did we have a clean break? Right, testing, came back down, test, break, came back, gave us that crazy candle, give us a higher low, boom. Right, so then only thing I don't like about this now. Right, so let's mark this up as we had the break of structure. Right, the break of structure gave us, again, I'm not going to be looking at this wick. It's going to be looking, you know, pretty much higher high, higher low. So we know that we're trading between this higher low, right? And then the higher high we're trading is this. Right. Hope this is making sense, guys. Let me know if it's not. And again, the reason why we'll just mark it up, right? We had higher high, boom, higher low, higher high. Right? So what are we looking for? We're looking for higher low. So once we got the higher low, this is where we'll see price continuing that push to the top side, right? And now, what do I not like about this higher high, higher low? What do I not like about this uptrend push in this area is the fact that we already have 5 days where price has been going up without a pullback, right? We have a gap on the first day. Second day we're good. Third day we're good. Fourth day we're good. 5th day, we're good. So the only time we had a gap on the market was really on that first day. So we have no price resets. You know, we have the change of character, we have the break of structure, we have the break of structure above the 800 EMA. You know, in the 30-minute time frame, we could be looking for that pullback on the 200 EMA as well. You know, the 4-hour is not that good, but in the 4-hour we have that higher low. And then on the daily time frame, again, the only thing that I don't like about this is the fact that we're in a higher high. We're trading in the highest point here on GCAD, without a pullback. So GCAD is in a situation where I'm not gonna put it on my watch list. However, if we wake up tomorrow morning and we see something happening on GCAD that we could take a trade, I'll look at it and we'll take action. But GCAD, I'm not gonna add it to my list. GJ, this is another one that I'm not going to add to my list, but we're going to do the breakdown since people look at this trade a lot. But GJ, we know we're still trading higher high, higher low, and higher high, right? So daily time frame, we know we're in an uptrend. In the 4-hour, we're still making lower low, lower high, and lower low. So we understand that these pushes to the top side could just be a pullback. And again, for us to know whether or not it's just a pullback for price to then give us a lower low, or if it's going to be a continuation for price to continue to go high, what do we need to see? We need to see price break above the highs that are being made, right? And we can see that in the 4-hour time frame. We've been in a little zone of consolidation where price has kind of just moved sideways here, right? Price rejected the highs, went low, right? Went low, rejected the lows, went highs, rejected the highs, rejected the highs, rejected the highs, right? So first and foremost, let's update this to a no net for the week, since this is where price has been moving sideways. We have no continuations for the month, nothing, we're just moving sideways. So once we saw, right, this candle was on Wednesday, Thursday, right? Once we saw price went to these highs, we go to the 30-minute time frame. And again, we talked about these are drawings that I made on Thursday going into Friday. So again, this isn't like, you know, I think also Tuesday going into Wednesday, Thursday is all, no shit. On fucking Wednesday night going into Thursday is when we made these drawings too, if I'm not mistaken, on the session. And we talked about it because we had 2 days of rise, right? Once we had the 2 days of rise, well, oh, could we just get a third day to continue? Well, yeah, we could get a third day push, right? And understand that this is where price is going to make a decision on whether, if we get that third day, if we get a break of structure, we know price could continue. But if price gives us just what it gave us here, a rejection, this could continue going short, right? And that's exactly what price did. It gave us literally a type 1 pattern in a downtrend. And again, what's a type 1 pattern? We'll draw this out. This is the same thing we do every single session, right? Consolidation, break above, gives us a double top to continue. This is a type 1 pattern. Isn't this what price gave us? Consolidation, the breakout, right? Push 1, push 2, push 3. We go into the lower time frame. Cool. Oh, I don't see that. I don't see that in the 30-minute. Let's go to the 5-minute. Right? Consolidation, double top, push 1, push 2, push 3 to the bottom. Right? Like it's picture perfect. Right? GJ literally told you we're not going up yet. And GJ is again a pair not on my watch list. So I'm not even trading GJ. GJ is just a pair that I have here so we could have something to talk about, because I know a lot of traders, again, a lot of traders just trade GJ. They love trading GJ. So, you know, I have to give my input on GJ whenever I can. But GJ, again, I'm not going to be trading it. I'm not active on GJ. Once I start seeing price give me higher highs and higher lows in the 30-minute time frame, which again, our 30-minute highs and 30-minute lows are still down here and up here, I'm not going to be trading. I'll let it go. I haven't traded GJ in a while. It's been a little bit. Let's actually look. When was the last time I took a GJ trade? August 20th was the last GJ trade I took. Before that was when price was trending in the 30-minute highs and 30-minute lows. And that was, where are we already? We're in May. I haven't traded this pair all year. Last time, and this sucks. Last time I took a trade was literally before this. This was the beginning of the year. So, that should tell you guys something about how, not only why I trade different pairs, but also gives you an idea of how strict I am with my rules. Right? Why do you look at so many pairs? Well, because I already know whether or not we're going to be trading good conditions and bad conditions, just based on how I look at the charts. So it's a little bit easier to just go, like, once I have everything updated, right? Tomorrow morning I wake up, as soon as I go into, since I have everything already marked up and updated, we go to the 30-minute time frame. If STP or ADR is already hit for the day, I'm not taking a trade. If price didn't give us the break that we're looking for and it just started moving counter against the trend, I'm not taking a trade. But if everything is following the same system that we know works because we have it in our trading journal, if we just continue to follow the same system over and over again, but again, that comes with discipline too, right? So GU, we're in V1, we're in the first zone of consolidation, looking for that second push to the top side. So I was doing a one-on-one session too earlier, so I do have a lot of markings too, but I am going to explain them. You know, I know having such a messy chart for some people, I know I can't trade with it, so you see that I do clean it up after we finish the session and stuff, but this kind of scares people. It's like, oh, you have a lot on your screen, but it's like, for the most part, it's just drawings that I make with the explanations of the classes that I do and the sessions that we do here every single day. So let's just start from the top to the bottom. Again, just focus on market structure. We know that we're in V1. We're in the first zone of consolidation where price is moving sideways, and we're looking for that break of structure, right? Did we get that break of structure? Yes. So with having that break of structure in the daily time frame, what do I want to see after a break of structure? I want to see a pullback, right? So this is where, again, I add my fibs after the break of structures. So I start looking at, okay, where is price going to give us a pullback? And again, the reasons why. So without the fib, right, just looking at the simple, my naked charts, I know that I'm looking for a pullback in this area, somewhere in this area over here. Right now, the reason is why. Well, because that's where we had the break of structure. That was the last red candle. That was the last pullback before price giving us a break of structure. So this is where now I start putting all my rules together. Well, a pullback in this area, somewhere in this area, is also tied to the 200 EMA, which is the pullback that we want to see in level 2. We want to see price bounce off the 200 EMA. Well, not only is the 200 EMA there, but we also have a 50% fib retracement in that same area. Okay, cool. So this is where all our rules start lining up that tell us this is going to be the strongest point where price is going to give us an entry to continue the higher highs and higher lows that we want to see for GU, right? Not only that, we know we have 3 months of rise. This month, for October, I'm not expecting price to continue that push to the top side. I'm expecting price to give us a pullback. And again, if that's the case, we could see that price could potentially reach these lows by the end of the month. So it's perfect, right? Price is moving exactly how it needs to move. Now, in the 4-hour time frame, we could see price giving us higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and higher high. So now this is where the people are going to start asking questions. Well, oh, if price gives you a lower low, right, isn't price just going to continue going short? Well, yeah, in the internal time frame, we'll just see a pullback. Right, in the internal time frame, this looks like price is giving us lower lows and lower highs to continue going short. But again, remember, in the daily time frame, you're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Right, you're trading between this low and these highs in the daily time frame. So technically speaking, in the 4-hour time frame, this is just a pullback. Right, this is just a higher low to continue into a higher high. But they have to induce the traders, they have to make people believe that this is where price is going to continue to go short, and then turn it back around and trap all those traders, right? So it's that kind of that's the market structure you kind of have to be able to see. Again, it takes time to kind of develop that vision, but it's also just being able to see what price is doing. Right now in the 4-hour time frame, in these higher lows in the 4-hour time frame, are we seeing price turn around, or is price continuing lower lows and lower highs? We could still see is giving us lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, which is what we have drawn here in the 30-minute now. What are we waiting for before we could enter a trade down here in these lows? What do we need to see? We need to wait for an anchor. We need to wait for a change of character, break of structure, right? We need to wait for something to give. We need to either look for a double bottom, a V, an engulfing candle, right? Whatever the case is, we need to see something tell us that price is turning around, and we don't have that yet. We can still see lower lows and lower highs. We still have price giving us 3 pushes to the bottom. There's no confirmation here at all telling us that price is going to turn around yet. So this is a pair where, again, not going to be on my watch list. I'm not going to put it on the watch list, but it's one that I'm going to keep a very close eye on, right? Because GU, very similar to EU, these are pairs I want to see price push up to, but right now price is just giving us, is just showing us pullbacks instead of actual entries that we could take. NZDCAD, so this was for Mr. Olam. So Mr. Olam, we'll do NZDCAD here, and I know it's been almost an hour already that we've been doing this shit. We're almost done. We're only missing 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs. So I'm gonna go pretty quick. So NZDCAD, we're in V1. We're in the first zone of consolidation, looking for that second push to the top side, right? So we know that we're trading between this daily low and this daily high. Internally, right, I want to start seeing price turn around. So we know that in the 4-hour we're trading high, low, high. Price then gave us a pullback, gave us higher high, right? Higher low. We know that we gave us another higher high. So we know that we are now trading between this 4-hour low and this 4-hour high, right? So we know now internally, again, we know that we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. So we're looking for a higher low. So this is where we could add our fib. And what are we looking for? Well, we know we're looking for price to give us a pullback, right? Going into structure to structure, the 23.6, 38.2, but we could see price never turned around and continued, right? Then our next point of interest was the 50% and the 61.8, right? And what do we know? Okay, cool. Well, now we know that internal structure. What do we want to see? We want to see the inducement happen before we see the turnaround, right? So we know, okay, cool. Internally, we wanted to see price respect these lows, right? And what did price do? Didn't respect it. It gave us what we drew up here from last week, where price is just going to give you the inducement to then continue going long, right? So in the 30-minute time frame, we know that we have the, and this is good structure here for NZDCAD, right? Why? Because on the 800 EMA is the easiest place to look for a break of structure. Because if you have a break above the 800 EMA and you have a break of structure above the 800 EMA, you already know where price is going. So in this case, I'm not going to say higher high, higher low, higher high, obviously, right? All of this is part of the same trend, right? And I need to see a break of structure above this area before I can take a trade. And again, let's draw out what a break of structure looks like, what I'm expecting. So let's say this is the break of structure line, right? The first candle, right? So I'm looking for a pullback, right? I'm looking for a break retest to continue. But what does this break retest look like? You have the first candle, which is the first green candle. Just because this green candle closed above the zone does not mean it's a break of structure. This first green candle is the testing candle. The confirmed break of structure, and we're talking about this in the 30-minute time frame, would be the next 30-minute time frame candle. If it's a green candle that closed above the first green candle's wick and is not touching the zone, this is the break of structure. And this is where we're looking for price to give us a pullback, the retest, to then continue going long. Now, if this candle is touching the zone, whether it's the wick or the body of the candle, is still testing. You need to wait for another candle to open and close above the zone, right? If you don't have that, it is not a break of structure. So NZDCAD, the only thing we're pretty much waiting for now at this point, and this would be a very nice a very beautiful 372, but unfortunately for me to take this trade on a Sunday, Monday, before I could take the trade, I need to see that break of structure, right? So I could even go a step further and kind of draw this out for you as well. So what am I looking for? So let's say the market opens, boom. Right, let's say we consolidate. We have 2 days, and we do something where we get the break of structure. Right, boom, we got the 3rd day push. But then price decides to come back down for the day and finish on a no net. So we have 3 days of rise. On the 3rd day, we have a rise no net. Right? We know that we're going to be looking for price to give us that 4th push to the top side. That's only if we get a break of structure. If price gives us this break structure, that break of structure to the top side, and it gives us a pullback, again, we know that we're going to be looking for higher high, higher low, higher high, and we're looking for a pullback. And that pullback is going to be in this test, in this zone. And this is where we'll start looking to take those trades, going back up to the top. Right, so NZDCAD could be a really good trade, but we need to see that break happen first before we could continue. And this is, we're pretty much in a pretty good zone here. There's nothing else I could say. We have a nice pullback in the internal time frame. We're still following higher highs and higher lows. The daily time frame, we're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA. We're right on it. Right, the 200 EMA is where we had the inducement happen in the lower time frames too, in the 4 hour, which was here. This 4 hour inducement happened again when price gave us the break of structure higher high to go into the higher low. So you have every single time frame giving you the confirmation that we're in a pretty strong zone to start looking for entries. However, again, we still, even though everything looks good, there's still the internal move you have to wait for. Or you can't get too excited, you can't get too antsy, anxious about, oh, we're gonna miss the trade. No, you have to just continue to follow your rules too. So once we see that break, that's when I'll start looking for that. That was a good pair. I hope that explanation made sense, Mr. Olam. Alright, so US30 daily time frame. This is starting to slow down. Daily time frame, we're in peak high territory for US30. We're in the highest point in the market. We're still in a higher high. US30 is in a situation where, again, this is a pair where, first of all, I'll say this too, it's not for everybody to really trade. Right? If you don't know how to follow structure on a pair like AU or EURUSD, you shouldn't be looking at pairs like US30. You shouldn't be looking at pairs like gold, right? A pair that you should be looking at to see if you're ready to really start trading indexes or commodities is GBPJPY, because GBPJPY is a very big pair. It has a lot of pips, right? You're talking about going from a pair like AU that has 40 pips to jumping on a pair like US30 that has 200 pips, 300 pips. Doesn't make sense, right? You're gonna get faked out. You're gonna lose an account very quick. So with that being said, US30, again, this is one where you gotta follow market structure. We're still making higher highs and higher lows, and the higher high price just literally moved sideways, gave us the break. So we now know in the 4 hour time frame we're trading between this higher low here. I have to sneeze. And this higher high. These higher highs, we still don't have a set higher high just yet, but we'll keep it like this for now. Sorry, I was sneezing. And we have a weaker rise, so no continuations just yet, but we do have another higher high set. The daily time frame high, again, still we don't have it set just yet, so I'm not going to change it. And in the 30 minute, let's talk about the entry. So entry was fairly simple. we know that we were in the zone of consolidation, right? Pretty much just moving sideways. Yeah, we could see that price was giving us, right, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, higher high, right? Price never broke the highs, didn't break the lows until here, right? At these lows, what did price do? It just gave us an inducement. We also know we were on the 800 EMA, right? And then what ended up happening, right? Price gave us the internal shift, right? Where we could see that price. Now when you go into a 5-minute time frame, we know we were trading higher high, higher low, higher high. And then on pretty much Thursday, all day of Thursday going into Friday, this is where I was mapping out the trading. You guys were seeing it on the stream where I was pretty much talking about this is where during the NYC session we had to go down into the 5-minute time frame and break down what we just talked about, what we talked about the break of structure. Sorry, I couldn't get that sentence out for some reason, right? And this is where we have these little markings that we have. So we were looking for a break. For this to continue going short, we were looking for a break of structure, right? Because price gave us a beautiful change of character. We had a change of character, lower low, lower high. But what were we missing? The break of structure. Did we ever get a break? And when we start looking at the candles again, remember what I drew. Just because, let's take this off, right? Just because this red candle closed below the zone doesn't mean there's a break of structure. We're looking for another candle after this one to close below that red candle's wick and for it to not be touching the line. Did we get a break of structure here? No. Price went back to the highs. Went back down below. Red candle again, closed below the zone. The next candle, what happened? Went back up to the top. Cool, no worries. Next candle. Red candle is just a wick, it wasn't a closure, went back to the top. Cool. These candles here, let's zoom in. Did we get a break of structure? This is a wick, wick, wick. This one, below the zone, but it's still touching, testing. Green candle on the zone. Red candle, closed below, on the zone. Right, the next candle after that, green candle on the zone. Red candle, well, what are we looking for? We're looking for it to close below the wick. What happened? Price went back to the top side, green candle on the zone, red candle again, same thing, not closed below the zone. It went right back to the high. It was the inducement. So once we saw that we had the inducement, cool. What did we get? We had a little internal higher high. In this higher high, price gave us a 5-minute gap. So when we were doing our session Thursday night going into Friday, right, the isolation session, this is where I was telling you guys I'm looking for this pullback, right? And not only is it a pullback, but this is where the internal fib comes into play. Not only do we have a 5-minute gap, but we also have a 50% retracement. Simple. That's the entry. What else are we waiting for, right? And then this is where you could get a little bit more geeky, which we had to. This was the time that we turned that I was on the charts already, 6 a.m. I had to go down into the 1-minute time frame on US30 to look for this trade, right? Because this is where we were still making lower lows and lower highs. Once we filled the gap up, this is where price went from lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, and that was the trade. Right, I had my entry was here, stop loss was below the zone in the 1-minute time frame. We're talking about an 18 pip stop loss for then price to go straight into profit right before the NYC session. Right, straight into STP for the day, which was 268 pips. You know, my TP number 1 was really the top of the zone. TP number 2 was the top of the 30-minute high, but it was just straight green candles. So I kept it open all the way up, just straight into the STP, and then, you know, we missed a few pips, but you know, I don't worry about the pips that are done after STP. So let's clean up the chart just to not have all of this here. I wanted to keep this drawing on the chart so we could go over the trade, why we took it. I'll keep the marking for the actual trade there, but I'm gonna delete the trend lines and the paths and all of that. This gap, I don't need it there anymore. Well, yeah, I don't need this anymore there. That 5-minute break, we already gave the explanation. The brushes, okay. The fib retracement. This was a 4-hour fib. No, this is a 30-minute fib. This was the fib for Oh, the internal 30-minute high and 30-minute low. I could take that off. Cool. So going back to what we were talking about here. So let's update again. Once again, the daily high, I can't update it just yet. I need to see that closure, but we did get a break of structure, so we know that we're trading. No, we're still trading between this higher low, just the higher high is still higher. So we know that we're trading between the daily higher high. We know that we're trading between the 4-hour higher high. So we are looking for a pullback. But again, for us to look for a pullback, we need to see price give us lower lows and lower highs. And price ended up giving us a day of rise on Friday. We have a bullish 4-hour candle, and our 30-minute high and 30-minute low needs to be updated. Again, we know we were trading between this lower low change of character, this high, and then price ended up giving us another change of character, higher high just now. So we know that we're trading now between these 30-minute lows and these 30-minute highs up here. So if price gives us a break of structure higher high, then we know price is going to continue to push to the top side, and we just got to wait for a pullback and a continuation to take a trade. But if price starts rejecting these highs, and we could start mapping this out, right? Pretty much if price breaks these lows, this is where we'll see price continue going short, and if price breaks these highs, this is where we'll see price continuing to push to the top side. So we'll wait this one out. US30 looks good. It'll be good for this week for sure. USDCAD. This is a lot of okay, yeah, this is one I did on a 101 session too. Like, wow, what am I looking at? All right, so USDCAD, we're in V2. We're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the top side. And we know we're in the middle of the zone of consolidation. In the middle, this is where price gave us a little breakout to continue the push to the top side. So once again, just in the daily time frame, what is price doing? Rejecting highs, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, highs, lows, highs, back to the middle, right? Rejecting highs again, going back down to the middle. So we're in a situation on USDCAD where we still don't have a break of structure of these highs. So we want to be very careful taking trades here. So the reason I have this marked up this way too, and this was, I think this wasn't even a one-on-one session. This was actually done on stream. Somebody had a question on USDCAD whether or not they should hold the trade or close the trade, right? And this is pretty much where I was telling them where, well, you took a trade in a really good position, which you took it here after the break of structure of the internal previous lower high that was created, right? So he took a trade somewhere here between 364 and 365, right? Somewhere in this area. And why is this a really good entry? Well, he already understood that, well, if you have a break of structure here, we just look at the left hand side, we have clean structure, imbalance movement on the left hand side until these highs. So in order for you to start looking and continue to look for price to go higher, right? Let's delete some of these drawings. Give me 1 second. We have clean movement here. I don't want to, there's too much things going on here. Right, in order, damn, we still have more. It's all good. In order for us to continue to see price push up, we need to see a break of structure of these highs. Right? Did we get a break of structure? No. Price rejected. So this is where I was telling them, right? And let's also add, you have 2 weeks of rise on this. So could we look for a third push? Could be so, but I need to see a pullback first for next week, right? What do we need to keep an eye on? The structure, right? For price to let us know that it's going to continue going short, what do we need to see? We need to see higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low to continue going short, right? Or price is going to just continue to make higher highs and higher lows the same way we've been doing here on USDCAD, right, for a few days. So we're in a situation where right now price market makers are just trapping traders, right? We're in a zone of consolidation, right? Because technically speaking, we're still trading higher high, higher low, and higher high. Remember, this candle here that printed on Friday was just a testing candle, right? It was just a testing candle. It's not even real. Again, we put on a line chart that doesn't even show up there. We can still see clearly higher highs and higher lows. So we're in a situation where we understand we're in a zone of consolidation, Keep it very simple, right? For price to continue going long, we need to see price break these highs. For price to continue going short, and for us to let us know that price is going to go short and give us a steeper pullback, which is what I'm expecting on USDCAD, before we could continue going long, which is what I'm expecting here on the 4-hour time frame, right? We have 2 weeks of rise, right? Week number 1, week number 2, I'm expecting a pullback to then continue. Now the question just is, how steep is that pullback gonna be? You know, and at this moment, even here in the 30-minute time frame, you know, we have a clean change of character. Lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high change of character. The situation is, do we have any real significant pullbacks here in the 30-minute time frame for me to say, well, do we even have a break of structure? Because we never had a pullback after the change of character. Yeah, we had a small higher high, higher low, but we have that the entire time. So USDCAD is in one of those situations where even if we do get that 4-hour pullback, you know, we might have to just take a step back and really, again, just look at it in the 4-hour, where we can't say that this is a strong higher low point when price still hasn't given us that break of structure. We could still just be rejecting these highs. So USDCAD is shaky for me. Again, I wouldn't take these trades personally, but if you do, again, just follow market structure. I'm gonna delete the drawings on this one too, since we pretty much already know where we're at. I'm not gonna continue to have this drawn so crazy. And we have another day of rise again, so this is not a viable trade for me to even take at this point. I need to see a pullback before anything else. USDZAR, 2 days of drop, moving counter. We're still making higher high, higher low. We're still in the higher low situation here. So this is still moving against the trend. This is in V2. Let me add a few lines here as well. Sorry about that. Alright, we had a week of rise, and then this week price gave us a week of drop. So no continuations. We're still making lower low, lower high, and lower low. So again, we understand that this pullback to the top side was just that, a lower high going into a lower low. And we could see the same thing in the daily time frame. Yes, even though we're in an overall uptrend, right now price is still giving us lower lows and lower highs. So we're still looking for price to turn around. Before we could enter a trade, I need to see higher highs and higher lows, and we do not have that yet. Right? We had a clean, right, in the last week and a half, we had a clean change of character, break of structure to then give us that third push. Right after that third push, I'm looking for a pullback. So it's all good. Alright, I'll be looking for that shift again to happen. Once we get that shift, that'll really let us know in the lower time frames that price is just going to continue going high instead of respecting the external lower highs. Right? So pretty much in these areas, if price respects these lows, then we'll be looking for price to continue to push to the top side. If price breaks these lows, then we know it'll continue going short. It's really that simple. To keep it in simple terms. But we gotta wait for those continuations, or we gotta wait for those confirmations. US30 and gold correction, then up. Yeah, it could be. That's also what I'm expecting. Could just be a pretty steep pullback for it to then continue, especially with the war and everything going on. We understand what's going on worldwide, so you know, it's one of those situations where, again, as long as you're following your trading plan, nothing could go wrong. Literally nothing could go wrong as long as you're following your trading plan. So that's why I'm not too worried about the pullbacks and, you know, what could happen or what can't happen. Again, like, if I don't see something simple on gold, I'm not trading it. It's that simple. If I don't see my rules being played out 100%, I'm not taking the trade. I'm not gonna update this yet till the market opens. We're super close. There could still be a known that. With that being said, again, like, the trades I've been taking on gold have been very minimum, but they've been very high probability, very, like, they pay out a lot. Right? 372 rejected the highs, internal change of character, break of structure, entry, 79 pip, stop loss for, you know what I mean? Like, we're not catching these numbers on every single pair, because not every single pair moves as much as gold. But US30, same thing. Last time I took a trade on gold was August 27th, and then before that was August 6th. But you can see every single trade that I take on gold, it pays out a lot, right? Every single time. So I'm fine with that. Once again, gold, I'm gonna wait for price to just give me what I want to see. Right, at this point, again, we know that we could still be trading lower low, lower high, lower low. This could still be a lower high to continue into a lower low. So again, I'm not trading gold. I'm not trading gold until I see one of two things, right? We're either gonna see price break above to continue, or we're gonna see price reject the highs to continue going short. It's that simple, right? Those are the two things I'm waiting for. So gold, nothing really there for me. Bitcoin, we're still in V2, but we're still making lower lows and lower highs. We're almost done here, guys. Let me see one more pair. I don't really have anything here to say on Bitcoin just yet. This is one where we'll talk about this tomorrow. We could see that price was giving us an internal little change of character, break of structure, but price didn't give us a clean break. So this is one of the situations where I could tell you guys, this is where you could see high probability versus low probability. Right? There's a lot of traders who are trading this, thinking, oh my god, this is a bullish flag post pattern, where price is just going to consolidate between 23.6, 38.2 and just continue the uptrend push, right? But for this to be a valid bullish flag post pattern, what do you need to see? You need to see that break of structure. You need to see price give you the break of structure to then give you this pullback to then continue. Without that break of structure, you're not trading anything. So Bitcoin, this is happening on a Sunday, but I will talk about this more tomorrow. And then oil, daily time frame, we know we're in A1, we're in the first zone of consolidation, looking for that second push to the bottom. We could still see price giving us lower lows and lower highs. We had 3 months of drop already, so this month I'm not expecting price to give me another push to the bottom. Could be a no net, could be a month of rise, and we could see that right now price is at the top. In the 4-hour time frame, we know we're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low. Again, could this just be a lower high to continue going short? Absolutely. But again, we got to keep in mind, this month we're not expecting price to go short, right? So could this be in the 4-hour time frame where price is just going to kind of move sideways, induce traders going long, making them believe this is where price is going to continue for price to just go right back down? That could be something that could happen too, right? And in this case, in this situation, we have 2 weeks of rise. So again, could this be where next week price makes a new high to then again go right back down to the bottom? It could happen. That's exactly what happened here in the 30-minute time frame. Going short made everybody believe that this was a change of character, break of structure to continue going short. And what happened? Price just went right back to the top. Right? So it's all good. Oil, we'll just wait it out. There's no rush. I know I'm looking for price for oil to continue this downtrend push, but we need to wait for those confirmations. And again, if price doesn't give us those confirmations for shorts, then we'll just have to shift our view and then start looking for price to give us that pullback back to the top side. So really on our watch list for this week, I know this was a pretty long session. I usually don't take this long, but there was a lot of good pairs to really keep an eye on. So the only one that's really going to be on my watch list for tomorrow is going to be EURCAD. For the market open to start the week off. EURCAD really looks like the best one in comparison to a lot of these pairs. Now, there's a lot of pairs that I'm going to keep an eye on, but once again, that's going to be more like me just waking up in the morning, going over the charts. What did they do already? What are they missing? Did we get the moves that we were looking for? If we could follow those rules, then we'll take the trades again the same way we did last week. If not, then again, EURCAD, pretty much the only trade that looks more than decent to look at for a 372. But that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions, let me know. Any other pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. Anything you guys want me to explain, something that didn't make sense, anything at all, let me know. If not, we'll be done for today and we'll be back tomorrow morning 7 a.m. for the live trading session. Hi Jumper, will be watching later at work now. No problem, Albert. Hope you have a good day at work. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend too, my brother. But no problem. I pretty much had a pretty long session if you can still hear me. So It was about an hour, hour and a half. But you know, when you watch the recording, this goes for everybody else who I know watched the recording. If you guys have any questions, just message me on Discord, message me on X or Instagram, and I'll get back to you. No problem. For anybody watching, any questions? I'll give you guys another minute here, another few seconds. We'll give you 20 seconds. Any questions? Anything at all? Let me know. If not, once again, we'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern for the live trading session, and then tomorrow evening for the market breakdown at 7 p.m. And then again, we do these sessions every single day for free. Every single Monday through Friday live trading session from 7 to 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Monday through Thursday, we have a session at 7 from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then on Sunday, 11 a.m. till 12:30 is the weekly market breakdown, which is this session. And we do free one-on-one sessions as well if you guys are interested and want to join the Discord. You guys could do that too. I'll post the link right now in the chat. Alright guys, have a good rest of your weekend. Hope you guys have a great trading week. Again, we'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll see you guys in the live trading session. Make sure you guys join the Discord. Peace out.